Chapter 1, Cautions and Comparisons, How to Burn $1 Million a Night. Money and success are often thought of as the keys to happiness and fulfillment. We see people living lavish lifestyles and assume they must be content and satisfied with their lives. But the truth is, chasing after money and success without considering the impact on other areas of life can lead to a very different outcome. In this chapter, we'll discuss the dangers of obsessing over money and status and the importance of considering what we truly want in life. Because while money can buy us material possessions and temporary pleasures, it cannot buy us true happiness and fulfillment. Think about it, if you had $1 million to burn in one night, what would you do with it? Sure, you could buy a fancy car, a designer outfit, and throw a wild party. But what about the next day? Would those material possessions and experiences truly make you happy, or would they just be fleeting moments of pleasure? The reality is, true happiness and fulfillment come from a sense of purpose and meaning in life. It's about finding balance and harmony in all areas of our lives, not just our bank accounts. So before you set your sights on chasing after money and success, take a moment to consider what you truly want in life. What are your passions, your values, and your goals? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Chapter 2, Rules that Change the Rules. Everything popular is wrong. The world is full of conventional wisdom and widely accepted beliefs about work and productivity. Many people follow these beliefs blindly, without ever questioning whether they are truly effective or even beneficial. However, in this chapter, we will challenge these conventional ideas and encourage you to question the status quo. We believe that some of the most successful individuals in history have achieved great things precisely because they were willing to break the rules and think outside the box. These individuals didn't just follow the crowd or do what was expected of them, they charted their own course and created their own rules. Think about Elon Musk, who started multiple successful companies by taking on challenges that most people thought were impossible. Or Richard Branson, who built a multi-billion-dollar business empire by defying the conventional wisdom of his industry. These individuals didn't achieve their success by playing it safe and following the crowd, they did it by breaking the rules and thinking outside the box. So, what can you learn from these individuals? The key is to question everything and be willing to take risks. Don't be afraid to challenge conventional wisdom and try new things. Don't assume that just because something is popular or widely accepted, it's the right thing to do. Chapter 3, Dodging Bullets, Fear Setting and Escaping Paralysis. Fear can be a powerful force that holds us back from pursuing our dreams and achieving our goals. It's easy to get trapped in a cycle of anxiety and uncertainty, always worrying about what might go wrong and hesitating to take action. But what if there was a way to confront our fears head-on and take control of our lives? That's where the concept of fear setting comes in. Fear setting involves taking a close look at the worst-case scenarios that we fear the most and developing a plan to address them. By examining our fears in detail, we can often see that the worst-case scenarios aren't as bad as we initially thought, and that we have more control over them than we realized. One of the most powerful tools for fear setting is visualization. By vividly imagining the worst-case scenario and considering all the possible outcomes, we can prepare ourselves mentally for whatever challenges may come our way. We can also identify the steps we would need to take to mitigate those risks and minimize the impact of any setbacks. Of course, fear setting isn't just about preparing for the worst. It's also about recognizing the opportunities that lie ahead and taking action to pursue them. By breaking down our fears and identifying the steps we need to take to overcome them, we can gain the confidence and clarity we need to move forward towards our goals. But fear setting is just the first step. To truly overcome our fears and escape paralysis, we need to take action. We need to be willing to push past our comfort zones and take risks, even if it means failing along the way. Fortunately, there are many practical tips and strategies we can use to overcome our fears and take action towards our goals. We can start by setting small, achievable goals that build momentum and confidence over time. We can also seek out support and guidance from mentors, coaches, and other trusted advisors who can help us stay accountable and focused. Chapter 4, System Reset, Being Unreasonable and Unambiguous. What is the difference between a dream and a goal? A dream is something you think about, while a goal is something you act upon. In this chapter, we'll explore the importance of setting specific, actionable goals and creating a plan to achieve them. To achieve great things in life, you need to set clear and ambitious goals. However, it's not enough to have a vague idea of what you want to accomplish. You need to be specific about what you want and set a timeline for achieving it. For example, instead of saying, "I want to be successful," you could say, "I want to launch my own business within the next 2 years and generate $1 million in revenue by year 3. Breaking down goals into actionable steps. Once you have set your goals, the next step is to break them down into actionable steps. This will make them feel more achievable and less daunting. For instance, if your goal is to launch your own business, you could break it down into steps such as conducting market research, creating a business plan, securing funding, hiring a team, and launching your product or service. Being unreasonable. To achieve something extraordinary, you need to be willing to take unreasonable actions. This means doing things that others might consider crazy or unrealistic. But it's these actions that often lead to breakthroughs and success. For example, Elon Musk's goal of colonizing Mars may seem unreasonable to some, but it's this very ambition that is driving SpaceX to innovate and make space travel more accessible. Being unambiguous. To achieve your goals, you need to be unambiguous about what you want and why you want it. This means being clear about your priorities, values, and vision. It also means being willing to say no to things that don't align with your goals. For example, if your goal is to launch your own business, you may need to turn down a high-paying job offer that doesn't give you the time or resources to pursue your entrepreneurial dreams. Chapter 5: The End of Time Management, Illusions and Italians. Time management is a concept that has been around for decades, but is it really possible to manage time? In this chapter, we'll explore the idea that time cannot be controlled or managed and discuss how you can make the most of the time you have. The illusion of time management. Time management is often seen as a solution to the problem of not having enough time. We are encouraged to make lists, prioritize tasks, and schedule our day down to the minute. However, despite our best efforts, time seems to slip away from us. The truth is, time cannot be managed or controlled. It is a finite resource that cannot be expanded or contracted. What we can control is how we use the time we have. Rather than trying to manage time, we should focus on managing our actions and priorities. The Italian approach to time. In Italy, the concept of la dolce vita, or the sweet life, is highly valued. Italians prioritize leisure, family, and community over work and productivity. Despite this, Italy has produced some of the most successful and influential people in history, from artists and writers to inventors and scientists. This Italian approach to time highlights the importance of being selective about how we spend our time. Rather than trying to do everything, we should focus on the things that truly matter to us and bring us joy and fulfillment. Examples of successful time management. There are many examples of successful individuals who have achieved great things by being selective about how they spend their time. For instance, Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors of all time, is known for spending hours each day reading and learning. Similarly, Olympic gold medalist Michael Phelps attributes his success to his ability to prioritize and focus on his training. By being selective about his commitments and dedicating himself fully to his goals, he was able to achieve extraordinary success. Chapter 6: The Low Information Diet, Cultivating Selective Ignorance. We live in an age of information overload. From social media to news websites, we are constantly bombarded with information that can be overwhelming and distracting. But is all this information really necessary? In this chapter, we'll explore the dangers of information overload and how cultivating selective ignorance can lead to greater focus and success. The dangers of information overload. In today's world, it's easy to feel like we need to consume as much information as possible to stay informed and competitive. However, this constant barrage of information can actually be harmful to our productivity and mental health. Studies have shown that information overload can lead to anxiety, decision fatigue, and a decrease in cognitive function. Cultivating selective ignorance. To combat information overload, we need to learn how to be more selective about the information we consume. This means cultivating what author Timothy Ferriss calls selective ignorance. By deliberately choosing to ignore certain types of information, we can free up mental space and stay focused on our goals. Tips for reducing information overload. So, how can we start cultivating selective ignorance? Here are a few practical tips. Set boundaries, decide on a specific time each day to check email, social media, and news websites, and stick to it. Limit your time spent on these platforms to avoid being sucked in. Be mindful of your sources, choose reliable sources of information, and limit the number of sources you consume. Consider subscribing to a curated newsletter or following specific journalists or publications. Focus on your goals, keep your goals and priorities in mind when deciding which information to consume. Does this information directly relate to your goals? If not, it may not be worth your time. Chapter 7: Interrupting Interruption and the Art of Refusal. We've all been there. We're in the middle of a task, and suddenly, we're interrupted. Maybe it's a colleague who stops by our desk to chat, or a notification on our phone that demands our attention. Whatever the source, interruptions can be incredibly disruptive to our productivity and focus. In this chapter, we'll explore the impact of interruptions on our ability to get things done, and we'll provide some practical tips for reducing interruptions and distractions. We'll also encourage you to be more selective about the commitments you make, and to be willing to say no to things that don't align with your goals. First, let's talk about the impact of interruptions. Studies have shown that it can take up to 25 minutes to regain our focus after an interruption. That means that every time we're interrupted, we lose nearly half an hour of productivity. And in today's fast-paced world, where we're bombarded with notifications and distractions at every turn, it's easy to see how quickly those interruptions can add up. So, what can we do to reduce interruptions and stay focused on our tasks? Here are a few tips. Turn off notifications. One of the easiest things you can do is to turn off notifications on your phone and computer. That way, you're not constantly being interrupted by emails, text messages, and social media alerts. Use headphones. If you work in a noisy environment, consider using headphones to block out distractions. Listening to music or white noise can also be helpful in creating a more focused work environment. Schedule time for interruptions. If you work in a job where interruptions are unavoidable, try scheduling specific times throughout the day when you're available for interruptions. That way, you can still stay focused on your work most of the time, while still being available to address urgent issues. Say no to non-essential commitments. Finally, it's important to be willing to say no to commitments that don't align with your goals. If a task or project isn't essential to your work or personal life, it's okay to decline. By being more selective about the commitments you make, you'll be better able to focus on the things that really matter. Chapter 8: Outsourcing Life, Offloading the Rest, and a Taste of Geoarbitrage. Do you ever feel like you have too many tasks to complete in a day? That there just aren't enough hours to get everything done? In this chapter, we'll introduce you to the concept of outsourcing and how it can help you free up your time and focus on more important tasks. Outsourcing involves delegating tasks and responsibilities to others, either in your personal life or in your business. By doing so, you can free up your time and focus on more important tasks that require your attention. For example, if you're a small business owner, you may outsource tasks like accounting or customer service to a third-party provider, allowing you to focus on growing your business. But outsourcing isn't just for businesses. It can also be applied to your personal life. For example, you can outsource household chores like cleaning or cooking to a professional service, giving you more time to spend with your family or pursue your hobbies. So how do you get started with outsourcing? First, make a list of all the tasks that you currently do yourself. Then, evaluate which tasks could be outsourced to others. You may be surprised at how many tasks can be delegated to someone else. Next, research outsourcing providers in your area or online. Be sure to read reviews and check references before hiring anyone. You'll also want to consider the cost of outsourcing versus the value it brings in terms of freeing up your time and allowing you to focus on more important tasks. Another concept we'll introduce in this chapter is geoarbitrage. Geoarbitrage involves taking advantage of differences in cost of living and currency exchange rates to live a more affordable lifestyle. For example, if you're based in a high-cost city like New York or San Francisco, you may consider moving to a more affordable city or even a different country where the cost of living is lower. By doing so, you can stretch your budget further and potentially live a more fulfilling lifestyle. But before making any big moves, be sure to do your research and consider the potential challenges of living in a new location. Chapter 9: Income Autopilot. Finding the Muse. Are you tired of the traditional 9-to-5 grind? Do you want to break free from the shackles of working for someone else and create a lifestyle that allows you to have more freedom and flexibility? If so, then it's time to consider finding your muse. So what exactly is a muse? Simply put, it's a business or income stream that can be set up to generate passive income. This means that once it's established, it requires minimal effort to maintain while continuing to generate income. Identifying a muse that's right for you requires some creativity and a willingness to take risks. You may have to experiment with several ideas before finding one that works. However, the potential rewards are enormous. By setting up a successful muse, you can free up your time and focus on the things that matter most to you. To identify potential muses, start by brainstorming a list of your interests, skills, and experiences. Consider what you're passionate about and what problems you could solve for others. Research the market demand for your ideas and evaluate their feasibility. Once you've identified a few potential muses, start testing them out. This may involve creating a prototype, conducting market research, or building a website. Chapter 10: Income Autopilot 2: Testing the Muse. Once you've identified a potential muse, it's time to put it to the test. Testing your muse is an essential step in evaluating its potential for success and refining it to generate a steady stream of passive income. In this chapter, we'll explore the process of testing and refining your muse to make it more profitable and efficient. The first step in testing your muse is to create a minimum viable product, MVP. An MVP is a simplified version of your muse that you can test with a small audience to gather feedback and evaluate its potential. The goal of an MVP is to validate your muse's core concept and identify any potential issues or areas for improvement. Once you have an MVP, it's time to test it with a small group of users or customers. This can be done through surveys, focus groups, or beta testing. The feedback you receive from your test group will help you refine your Muse and make it more appealing to your target audience. One of the keys to testing your Muse is to be open to feedback and willing to make changes. Remember that your goal is to create a profitable and sustainable business, and the only way to do that is by listening to your customers and adapting to their needs. Another important aspect of testing your Muse is to track your progress and measure your results. This will help you identify areas where you're excelling and areas where you need to make improvements. By tracking your progress, you can make data-driven decisions and optimize your Muse to generate the highest possible return on investment. Testing your Muse is an ongoing process that requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to adapt. As you receive feedback and gather data, you'll be able to refine your Muse and make it more profitable over time. Remember that the most successful Muses are those that are constantly evolving and adapting to changing market conditions and customer needs. Chapter 11, Income Autopilot 3, MBA Management by Absence. Have you ever dreamed of creating a business that runs on autopilot? One that generates passive income while you're off living your life and pursuing your passions? Well, the good news is that it's possible, and it's not as hard as you might think. The key to achieving this kind of lifestyle is MBA, or Management by Absence. This concept involves setting up your business in such a way that it can run without your constant presence or involvement. In other words, you can manage your business by being absent and let it generate income for you while you focus on other things. But how can you achieve this kind of business model? The answer lies in delegation and outsourcing. By delegating tasks and responsibilities to competent individuals or outsourcing to reliable service providers, you can free up your time and focus on the bigger picture. One of the biggest misconceptions about running a successful business is that you need to be involved in every aspect of it. But in reality, the opposite is true. In order to scale your business and make it truly profitable, you need to step back and let other people handle the day-to-day tasks. By doing so, you'll not only have more time and freedom to pursue your own interests, but you'll also be able to grow your business exponentially. You'll have more energy and focus to devote to the big picture, which means you can take advantage of new opportunities and expand your reach. Chapter 12, Disappearing Act, How to Escape the Office. Have you ever dreamed of escaping the daily grind of a traditional office job? The good news is, with today's technology and shifting work trends, it's easier than ever to create a flexible and location-independent work lifestyle. In this chapter, we'll explore practical advice for transitioning away from a traditional office job and finding success on your own terms. First, let's discuss the benefits of working remotely. Working remotely means you have the flexibility to work from anywhere, whether that's from home, a coffee shop, or even a different country. This means you can save time and money on commuting, avoid office politics, and have more control over your schedule. However, working remotely also comes with its own unique challenges. It's important to establish a dedicated workspace and maintain a structured schedule to stay productive. You'll also need to communicate effectively with your colleagues and clients to maintain a sense of teamwork and collaboration. Here are some practical tips for managing your time and productivity while working remotely. Set up a dedicated workspace. Create a designated workspace that is separate from your personal life, where you can focus on work without distractions. Make sure you have a comfortable chair and desk, and invest in quality equipment like a reliable computer and high-speed internet. Maintain a routine. Establish a consistent routine and schedule to maintain structure and productivity. This could include setting regular work hours, taking breaks at specific times, and using a planner or calendar to keep track of tasks. Communicate effectively. Communicate clearly and regularly with your colleagues and clients to maintain a sense of teamwork and collaboration. Use video conferencing tools like Zoom or Skype to stay connected and be responsive to emails and messages. Take advantage of flexibility. Use your newfound flexibility to your advantage by scheduling your work around your personal life. Take breaks to exercise or spend time with loved ones and enjoy the freedom to travel and work from different locations. Chapter 13, Beyond Repair, Killing Your Job. Many people find themselves stuck in jobs that are unfulfilling, stressful, and detrimental to their overall well-being. Despite the negative impact on their health, relationships, and quality of life, they continue to trudge through the daily grind, feeling powerless to make a change. This chapter offers advice on how to identify and eliminate unfulfilling jobs or career paths, and how to pursue more meaningful and rewarding work. The first step in escaping an unfulfilling job is to assess the situation and determine if it's worth salvaging. Are there any aspects of the job that you enjoy or find rewarding? Can you negotiate with your employer for changes that would make the job more manageable? If the answer is no, it may be time to start planning your exit strategy. One important consideration when leaving a job is financial stability. It's important to have a plan in place for supporting yourself while you transition to a new career path. This might involve saving up money, downsizing your lifestyle, or finding a part-time job that allows you to explore other opportunities. Another important factor is identifying what you're truly passionate about. What are your interests, values, and skills? What kind of work would you find meaningful and fulfilling? Once you have a clear sense of your passions and strengths, you can start exploring potential career paths that align with your goals. It's important to keep in mind that making a career change can be a long and difficult process. It may involve going back to school, taking on an entry-level position, or starting your own business. But the rewards of pursuing work that is truly fulfilling and meaningful can be well worth the effort. Finally, it's important to remember that the journey to a fulfilling career is not a one-time event. As you grow and evolve, your career goals and priorities may change. It's important to continually reassess your path and make adjustments as necessary. Chapter 14, Mini-Retirements, Embracing the Mobile Lifestyle. Do you ever feel like you're stuck in a rut, going through the motions of work and life without really living? The concept of mini-retirements might be just what you need to break out of that cycle and embrace a more fulfilling and adventurous lifestyle. A mini-retirement is an extended period of time away from work to focus on personal growth, travel, or pursuing other passions. Unlike traditional retirement, which typically comes at the end of a long career, mini-retirements can be taken at any time in your life. They can last anywhere from a few weeks to a few months or even a year, depending on your goals and financial situation. The benefits of taking mini-retirements are numerous. For one, they allow you to break out of the routine of work and recharge your batteries. They also give you the time and space to pursue interests or projects that you may not have time for during a typical work week. Additionally, mini-retirements can provide valuable opportunities for personal growth and cultural immersion, whether you're traveling to a new country or exploring your own city. Of course, taking a mini-retirement does require some planning and preparation. First and foremost, you'll need to consider your finances and figure out how you'll fund your time away from work. This might involve saving up money in advance or finding ways to earn income while you're away, such as freelancing or starting a small business. You'll also need to think about logistics, such as where you'll go and how you'll get there. This might involve researching travel options, finding accommodations, and making arrangements for any necessary visas or vaccinations. But with the right planning and preparation, taking a mini-retirement can be a life-changing experience. Not only will you come back to work refreshed and re-energized, but you'll also have a new perspective on what's important in your life and what you want to achieve going forward. Chapter 15, Filling the Void, Adding Life After Subtracting Work. When we decide to subtract work from our lives, it can be easy to focus solely on the act of removing something that was causing stress and dissatisfaction. However, simply removing work is not enough to live a fulfilling life. It is important to fill the void left behind with things that bring us joy, meaning, and purpose. One way to do this is by pursuing hobbies and interests that we are passionate about. Whether it's painting, gardening, playing music, or hiking, engaging in activities that bring us joy can improve our overall well-being and help us maintain a positive outlook on life. These activities can also provide a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment that may have been missing from our previous work life. In addition to hobbies, it's important to prioritize relationships with friends and family. Work can often consume a significant portion of our time, leaving little room for meaningful connections with loved ones. By taking the time to nurture these relationships, we can strengthen our support networks and create a sense of community that can help us navigate the ups and downs of life. Furthermore, finding purpose outside of work can be crucial to living a fulfilling life. This can involve volunteering for a cause we are passionate about, pursuing further education or training, or taking on leadership roles in our communities. By contributing to something greater than ourselves, we can create a sense of purpose and meaning that transcends our individual pursuits. Chapter 16, The Top 13 New Rich Mistakes. Creating a new rich lifestyle is no easy feat. Many people attempt it, but only a few succeed. In this chapter, we'll identify the top 13 mistakes that people make when trying to achieve this lifestyle and provide advice on how to avoid them. Mistake number 1, believing that money is the only metric of success. While financial success is certainly important, it's not the only measure of success. Don't sacrifice your health, relationships, or personal growth for the sake of money. Mistake number 2, focusing on the end goal instead of the process. The process is just as important as the end goal. Enjoy the journey and make sure your approach to work and life is sustainable and fulfilling. Mistake number 3, being afraid to take risks. Taking calculated risks is essential to creating a new rich lifestyle. Embrace experimentation and be willing to fail. Mistake number 4, not being selective enough about your commitments. Time is your most valuable resource. Be selective about the commitments you make and prioritize those that align with your goals. Mistake number 5, ignoring the importance of relationships. Your personal and professional relationships are critical to your success. Don't neglect them in pursuit of your goals. Mistake number 6, failing to delegate and outsource. Trying to do everything yourself is a surefire way to burn out. Learn to delegate and outsource tasks to free up your time and focus on the most important tasks. Mistake number 7, not investing in personal growth. Continuously learning and improving yourself is essential to creating a fulfilling and successful life. Make sure to invest in personal growth regularly. Mistake number 8, being too focused on the short term. While it's important to focus on your immediate goals, don't neglect your long-term vision. Make sure your actions align with your ultimate aspirations. Mistake number 9, not embracing the power of leverage. Leverage can be a powerful tool for achieving your goals. Whether it's through outsourcing, technology, or partnerships, find ways to leverage your resources to achieve more. Mistake number 10, focusing on the wrong metrics. Don't get caught up in vanity metrics that don't truly measure your progress towards your goals. Focus on the metrics that matter most. Mistake number 11, ignoring the importance of health and wellness. Without good health, you won't be able to enjoy your success. Make sure to prioritize your physical and mental health. Mistake number 12, trying to do everything at once. Creating a new rich lifestyle takes time and effort. Don't try to do everything at once. Prioritize and focus on the most important tasks first. Mistake number 13, believing that there's a one-size-fits-all solution. Everyone's path to a new rich lifestyle will be different. Don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you. In conclusion, creating a lifestyle that prioritizes freedom and fulfillment over traditional notions of success requires constant experimentation and learning. While the path to a 4-hour work-week lifestyle may not be straightforward or easy, it is achievable through dedication, persistence, and a willingness to learn from failure. The key is to continually refine one's approach and adapt to new challenges and opportunities. I encourage all readers to take action and start making changes in their own lives to achieve the lifestyle they truly desire. With determination and hard work, anything is possible.